this image is a spectrum. A spectrum is a range of things, so we call this the visible spectrum. And it goes from around 390 nanometers to about 700 nanometers. So my eye, or you and I, we can see things from here to about here. There are people who can go a little bit beyond this and can see a little bit this way outside of the regular range of vision, and likewise this way. I'm not an expert on any of that, of course, but it is possible. So this image is sorted by wavelength, and wavelength is how long the waves are. So what are these in? They're in nanometers. Nano, you've heard that before. Nano means really, really small, right? But in science, it actually has a specific type of small. Nano means times 10 to the negative ninth. So that's what nano is. So like if we said right here, this looks like a pretty nice red. Let's say it's 610, 20, 30. Let's say it's 630 nanometers. That is 630 times 10 to the negative ninth meters. That's how long a red wave is that we can see. So you're right if you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's pretty small. Yeah, the wavelengths of visible light are really, really short. And there are waves that are even way shorter than visible ones. If we run through this spectrum, what we can see, you guys have heard of Roy G. Biv before. We've got red here. I'd say orange is somewhere around here, maybe what, 605, something like that. Yellow looks to me like it's right there. Green, I don't know, I guess green is out here. Blue, how about there? And then I've heard people argue about indigo and violet, because of Roy G. Biv, but just to, out this way, you've got your violety, purpley colors. You've already, if you can see this quiz, you've probably already passed some wave quizzes. Something that's worth remembering is that as the wavelength gets shorter, so as wavelength goes down, what happens to the energy? The energy goes up. So out this way then, as the wavelength gets higher or longer, then the energy goes down. So what does that mean? That means that a red wave has less energy than a blue wave, and it's got a longer wavelength. So let's see here. So as wavelength goes down, energy goes up. Yeah, and as wavelength goes up, energy goes down. But I also wanted to throw into this video, we talked about energy and the names of them, frequency. Out here toward the reds, these 630s, the frequencies are lower because the waves are longer. And out here towards the blues, the frequencies are higher because the waves are shorter. So if we measured the wavelength here, it would be some number that would be a lot less than the wavelengths out here. And just because I'm under 4 minutes and I've met my goals for this video already, but let me just say that I told you that we humans can see out here to around 700. What do we call this that's just past 700? Or down here, what do we call these waves that are just shorter than 390? Out here, these ones we call infrared. These are the waves that are just longer than the color red we can see, and there are certain critters that can see those waves, like pit vipers can sense infrared radiation, or maybe you've heard of like night vision goggles. And out this way, if this out here is what we would call violet, then just shorter than violet we call ultraviolet, which is something you've probably heard of before. So there it is. The colors that we can see are a small part of a much larger electromagnetic spectrum.